I get it, you're staring at a wall of specs and wondering if you're about to drop hard-earned cash on a laptop that will sit half-used in a drawer. You've probably already seen a dozen best gaming laptop lists, but each one feels like a gamble. Is the performance really worth the price? Will it handle the games you play? And will it still feel decent once you switch from a 2 AM RAID to a Zoom call? That hesitation is exactly why I'm diving into the ASUS TUF A16 today. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's put the TUF A16 in the context of the current gaming laptop market. The sweet spot right now sits between the ultra-portable, lower-power machines that can barely run the latest titles and the heavyweight desktop replacement rigs that cost as much as a full gaming PC. Most buyers in this segment want a machine that can push 1080p or 1440p games at smooth frame rates, still feel comfortable typing a report, and not scream for power after a couple of hours. The TUF line has always tried to strike that balance with a rugged aesthetic and a focus on thermal design, and the 2025 refresh leans into that by pairing a Ryzen 7 7445HS with an RTX 4050. In practice, that combo translates to a CPU that can juggle streaming, game recording, and a dozen browser tabs without choking, while the GPU sits just above the entry-level threshold enough to hit 144 Hz on many popular titles at medium-high settings without dropping below a smooth experience. Who should actually consider this laptop? If you're a mid-range gamer who spends most of your time on titles like *Valorant***, *Elden Ring***, or *Fortnite***, and you want to push close to the 144 Hz sweet spot on the built-in 16-inch WUXGA panel, the TUF A16 delivers. The 16-inch screen, while not 4K, offers a crisp 1920x1200 canvas and a 144 Hz refresh that feels buttery when you're dodging bullets or racing through open worlds. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM and 2TB PCIe SSD mean you can install a sizable game library, keep large video files for editing, and switch between demanding apps without a noticeable hiccup. I've seen creators use similar setups for dual-monitor streaming running OBS on the laptop while gaming on the same screen, and the extra memory keeps the encode smooth. The backlit RGB keyboard, while mostly aesthetic, is actually handy if you game in dim rooms. You can set the lighting zones to pulse with in-game events or just keep it steady for late-night coding. On the flip side, there are clear scenarios where the TUF A16 might feel like a compromise you don't need. If you're chasing ultra-hyped competitive play at 4K, the RTX 4050 will quickly become the bottleneck. You'll be capping out around 6070 frames per second on the most demanding titles, which is far from the 144 Hz promise. Likewise, if you're looking for a laptop that will last a full workday unplugged, the battery life on this beast is modest. Real-world tests show roughly 4 to 5 hours of mixed usage before you're hunting for an outlet, which can be a pain on long flights or coffee shop sessions. The chassis, while built to meet TUF's durability standards, adds noticeable weight around 2.6 kg, so it's not the most portable option for commuters who need to sling it onto a train every day. Lastly, the price point sits a bit higher than other RTX 4050 laptops that come with slightly older CPUs but similar GPU performance, meaning you're paying a premium for the newer Ryzen 7 and the extra RAM. Summing it up, the ASUS TUF A16 makes sense for gamers and creators who value a solid 144 Hz display, ample storage, and the ability to multitask without a slowdown, especially if you already plan to stay mostly plugged in or don't mind the extra heft. It's less suited for ultra-portable professionals, competitive esports players chasing the highest frame counts, or anyone who expects a full day's battery life from a high-performance machine. If those points line up with your needs, you'll likely feel the purchase was justified once you fire up Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1080p and see the smoothness that the combination of Ryzen 7 and RTX 4050 brings. If not, you might be better off looking at a lighter, lower power model or saving for a higher tier GPU when your budget allows. Either way, the decision comes down to how you balance screen performance, multitasking muscle, and portability for your own daily routine. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon.